Your brain has an off switch for anxiety, and you've probably been accidentally pressing it your entire life without knowing. It happens when you stare at a canyon so vast your problems feel microscopic. When you look up at stars and feel yourself dissolve into something bigger. When music hits you so hard that for a moment, you forget you exist. That feeling has a name. Awe. And neuroscientists have discovered something remarkable about it. Awe doesn't just feel good. It physically changes your brain. It quiets the exact neural circuits that generate anxiety, depression, and obsessive self-focus. For most of human history, awe was everywhere. In thunderstorms we couldn't explain. In predators we couldn't escape. In night skies unpolluted by light. But modern life has engineered awe out of existence. We've traded wonder for Wi-Fi, mystery for algorithms, and we're paying for it with an epidemic of mental illness. But here's what's fascinating. Your brain still has this ancient capacity for awe. It's just waiting to be activated. Dacher Keltner spent 25 years studying a single question. What is awe? And why do humans have it? He's a professor of psychology at UC Berkeley and the founder of the Greater Good Science Center. His research has completely transformed how we understand this mysterious emotion. Keltner defines awe with two criteria. First, vastness. You encounter something larger than your current frame of reference. It doesn't have to be physical size. It could be vast skill, vast kindness, vast complexity. Second, accommodation. Your mind struggles to process what it's experiencing. Your existing mental categories can't contain it. You have to update your understanding of what's possible. Here's what makes this interesting. Most emotions serve obvious survival purposes. Fear protects you from danger. Disgust keeps you from eating poison. But awe makes you feel small and insignificant. From a pure survival standpoint, that seems counterproductive. Why would evolution build an emotion that shrinks your sense of self? Unless that shrinking serves a purpose we're only beginning to understand. In 2015, neuroscientists put people inside fMRI machines and induced awe. They showed them videos of vast landscapes, space footage, nature's scale. What they saw on the brain scans was striking. A region called the default mode network went quiet. This matters more than you might think. The default mode network is active when you're thinking about yourself, when you're worrying about the future, ruminating about the past, comparing yourself to others. It's the brain's me center, and it's hyperactive in people with anxiety and depression. Meditation takes years to quiet this network. Psychedelics do it, but with risks and legal issues. But awe dampens the default mode network within seconds. Naturally. Safely. And here's the profound part. When this network quiets down, people report the same thing. The boundaries of the self become fuzzy. The constant mental chatter about me fades. You stop being the center of your own universe. And counterintuitively, this feels incredible. Keltner calls this the small self. And despite the name, it's not a diminishment, it's a liberation. Think about what consumes most of your mental energy. Did I say the wrong thing? Do they like me? Am I successful enough? Am I falling behind? This constant self-monitoring is exhausting. It's the tax you pay for having a complex human brain. But in moments of awe, this entire apparatus temporarily shuts down. The tax collector leaves the building. You're no longer the protagonist of a story filled with threats and judgments. You're a brief arrangement of atoms witnessing something magnificent. This isn't just poetic language. Studies show that after experiencing awe, people literally use smaller self-referential language. Fewer words like I and me. More words like we and us. Their drawings of themselves become physically smaller on the page. The self contracts. And here's the paradox that makes this scientifically fascinating. People report this contraction as expansion, as freedom. as the best feeling of their lives. Now here's where this gets medically interesting. Keltner's lab discovered something unexpected about awe in the body. They measured cytokines, markers of inflammation, before and after awe experiences. People who reported more awe in daily life had significantly lower levels of interleukin-6. This is a pro-inflammatory cytokine linked to depression, heart disease, and autoimmune conditions. Chronic inflammation is one of the hidden drivers of mental illness. When your body stays in low-grade inflammation, it affects your brain. You feel foggy, tired, hopeless. Depression isn't just in your head, it's in your immune system. And awe, somehow, calms this system down. The leading theory? When you feel connected to something larger than yourself, your body shifts out of threat mode. The fight or flight system relaxes. The inflammatory response downregulates. Your biology responds to the meaning your brain assigns to an experience. You see a mountain and feel wonder. Your immune system receives the message. You are not under threat. You belong to something vast and enduring. But why would evolution wire us this way? Here's Keltner's theory. Awe makes humans cooperate. When you feel small, you become more generous, more willing to help strangers, more connected to your community. Experiments confirm this reliably. People who just experienced awe donate more money to charity. They spend more time helping others with tedious tasks. They share resources more equally with strangers. From evolution's perspective, this makes perfect sense. Humans survived not through individual strength but through collective action. We needed something that could override selfishness. Something that could make individuals sacrifice for the group. Awe was that something. It dissolved the boundaries between self and others. It made cooperation feel natural rather than forced. The emotion that makes you feel small is the same emotion that makes groups powerful. And in our hyper-individualistic modern world, we've lost this ancient social glue. We've privatized our attention into screens. We've optimized for personal achievement. And we've accidentally severed ourselves from the experiences that made us feel connected. Keltner's research identified 8 categories of awe. And this is where it gets practical. Nature is the most common source. Vast landscapes, storms, the night sky. But you don't need a national park. A single tree can do it if you really look. Collective movement creates awe. Dancing together, marching together, the synchronized motion of crowds. This explains why concerts and sports events feel transcendent. Moral beauty triggers awe powerfully. Witnessing extreme courage or kindness, a stranger's sacrifice, unexpected compassion. Music is a reliable awe trigger, particularly music with vast, sweeping compositions, the crescendo that makes your hair stand up. Visual design and architecture work too. Cathedrals were engineered for awe. So were monuments and museums. Birth and death bracket life with awe. New life entering the world, or sitting with someone as they leave it. Epiphanies, sudden understanding of complex ideas. Create intellectual awe, the moment a difficult concept clicks. And finally, spiritual and mystical experiences. The feeling of contact with something sacred or transcendent. So here's the uncomfortable question. If awe is so good for us, why are we experiencing less of it? Keltner argues that modern life systematically blocks awe. We spend 93% of our time indoors. We stare at screens that are literally designed to capture attention, not inspire wonder. We live in cities where light pollution erases the stars. We move too fast to notice anything vast. We've outsourced our sense of wonder to content algorithms. But scrolling through images of beautiful places isn't awe. It's awe's empty calorie equivalent. Real awe requires presence. It requires your nervous system to actually be there, to feel the scale, to have your mental categories genuinely challenged. The default mode network doesn't quiet down when you double tap a sunset photo. It stays active, comparing your life to the posters, worrying about your own feed. We've created a world optimized for productivity and distraction, and we've accidentally eliminated the mental health intervention that evolution gave us for free. But there's hopeful news. Awe is trainable. Keltner's lab developed something called an awe walk. It's simple. Go for a 15-minute walk. But instead of listening to podcasts or thinking about your to-do list, actively look for things that inspire wonder. It could be the fractal patterns in a leaf, the engineering of a spider web, the way light hits a building, the vastness of the sky between buildings. People who did awe walks weekly for 8 weeks showed significant decreases in anxiety and increases in positive emotion, more than regular